What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Bittersweet Podcast. It's your girl, Wintana. And this week, I'm so excited to bring you a fellow friend, my girl. This is someone that, like, I'm telling you, the Yap sessions go on and on and on. But she's also a creative director, a filmmaker, a producer, all-round creative. Yeah, girl,
Okay,
what do you mean? You
I
get
like
in your
that.
bag.
I like that.
Also, Melbourne's finest perfume connoisseur. Let me tell you, yeah.
That's so nice.
Let's welcome to the Bittersweet Hot Seat, Warsan. What's up?
Nah, sis, honestly, that's an amazing introduction.
Do you like it?
It's 10-10.
Okay.
Especially the perfume connoisseur.
You're the perfume connoisseur. Can we tell them how we went perfume shopping?
No, we went perfume shopping and Wintan's like, sis, I need to smell good.
Delicious. Guys, I said I'm going away this summer. Like, I'm trying to level up in all ways.
100%.
Not even just like my scent, my look. Just, you know how you want to be like, oh, I want to start doing different things, like styling my hair, putting perfume, jewelry, all that kind of stuff is what I'm trying to get on. And I'm like, I need my perfume game to be on 10. So who do I go to?
No, you came to me. You came to me.
And she took me shopping, guys.
It's like perfume is like my love language. I love perfume shopping.
I really get it.
I just like, honestly, like, but you have to be careful to spending because that's how they get you.
You get too excited.
You get too excited because you know when you go to the perfume store. And me, once I go, I love a place. I get to know I get to know the workers there and everything. It's like a family little thing.
It is.
And then
we walked into the shop, guys. We walked into the store, and this girl's on a first name basis with all the people that were there. On top of that, they're the ones complimenting her. Like, you gotta ask her, don't ask me. I'm like, damn, what's that?
When the owner said that, I was like, I've made it. You know. Because it's very hard, babe. No, it's very hard to
impress.
Hard with the perfume stuff. Every time I'm getting there. But when he said that, and when he said perfume connoisseur, I was like, well, that's my new title now.
Yeah, that's who you are. That's why I added it to your bio.
Nah, that's nice.
How are you, sis?
Nah, I've been good. You know what I mean? Like, I think, you got to take it day by day.
Yeah.
I feel like, when you're trying to like grind and do your thing and everything. And I think also like, just like, I think being in the present moment. Like, I think trying to make sure like once you're always busy and stuff like that. And you go, hold on, I've got to take time for myself.
Yeah.
I've got time to
Which
do
is
things.
hard.
It is so hard.
It's so hard. Especially
hard.
when you're always moving. Like recently, I feel like I've been it's just been back to back to back to back. And then one day I was like, okay, cool. Let me actually like sit down and think about what I've got coming up.
Yeah.
Sis, it was like there was no break in between my weeks.
Yeah.
I was just like, and it's really hard to just, it's just, I don't know if it's adulthood,
it's
where
adulthood.
we're at, all the things that we want to do, or being a creative, but also
100%.
trying to like, you know what I mean? Like live life as well.
I think when you're pursuing something that's outside of a 9 to 5 and something where there's no structure and you have to like make things like, and you also like, you gotta like, there's extra work that requires to be put into it. And then on top of that, working as well.
On top of that, working
as well. And then also like when you're pursuing something creatively, there's so much that gets put into before the event happens or before a podcast happens. Like there's so much back work that you have to put into to like get things done.
Yeah. And it's like you finish your 9 to 5, you go to your 9 to, like, it's like
exactly.
What is it? 9 to 5, 5
to 9. Something like that.
Girl.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like honestly like, and then like you still have like family or like you still got people, like you still got all the rest you have to also tend to as well.
Yeah.
And also even like just trying to like even find time to go to the gym.
I know.
Like it's so hard.
You have
like,
to wake up extra early now because that's the only time
100%.
you have
You see me at the gym 6 a.m. and I've never saw myself.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
I'm trying to get up. So I signed up for Pilates again.
Amazing.
I'm back. She's back.
110%.
But like it's the 6 a.m. class. Like I'm at home.
Yeah.
At like 7 p.m. looking at my schedule. I'm like, cool, a bit. Let me put in Pilates for this day. Like I'm like scheduling it. And I put in all confidence. You know what I mean? I'm warm. I'm in my gown. I'm sitting on my couch. I'm like, bet. 6 a.m. 6 a.m. comes around. I'm like, I don't want to get out of bed. I can't do it, especially in the winter weather.
I know. The other day when it's like 2 degrees, I said, if you don't get it, it's not going to happen. And I think also the reason why I push myself, because like it's a form of discipline.
Yeah.
Like it really teaches you discipline because I think the things that we're doing requires a lot of discipline. A lot of discipline. So I think that it's a habit thing where it took me time to get to 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Because I know me after work, it's either I'm going straight to the library to do creative work.
Yeah.
And I go home trying to eat and relax.
Yeah.
How am I going to put the gym in?
Yeah, you're not.
And also like, I'm not a fan of gym at 6 p.m. It's like, honestly, it's like a souk. What's a souk? A whole shopping center.
Yeah.
I say souk in Arabic, but sometimes
souk. We say
I switch in languages.
My East African sister, guys. I love it.
We switch in languages, you know what I mean? But no, honestly, like, I feel like, it's just so hard to even build that routine.
It is. It's so hard, and it's like, I don't know. You're right. Like, it's better to just get it out of the way. Do you know one thing I've been thinking though, Warsan? It's like, because your schedule or my schedule is so packed, it requires so much discipline that sometimes I'm just like, I just don't
want to do it.
I don't want to do it.
I don't. You just want to.
It's like, can I just not be disciplined? Like, can I just switch off? Is it every day? Like, hard? It's just hard.
It's hard, but I told you.
But you're right. I'm trying to be more like on top of things because
100%.
it's just I saw this. I was coming home in an Uber one time and the guy gave me a fortune cookie.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, random, whatever. And I took it and it said, it was so random. I'm like,
that is so
he's
random.
trying to get that 5-star rating. You know what I mean?
No, they're working for the 5-star. Yeah. They're working. It's hard to get 5-star. It's hard to get 5-star. Nah, like, respect. He's putting work in.
I respect it because for me, like, how till this day I remember you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Uber drivers. I remember him.
No, respect.
And the fortune cookie said, what is it? Preparation solves 80% of the problems. And I'm like, this was meant for me because of me, number one, type B personality girl. Like, there is no preparation. I'm just like, I'm prepared, but also like I'm not structured or disciplined. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be. So I need to get onto that.
Honestly, I feel like if we see successful people that obviously they've had a lot of like people had so much help and people there to open doors. Like we don't get to hear those stories. But 110% there's so much people open doors. But I feel like in order to separate successful people and people pursuing creative pursuits, there was a lot of structure and discipline that was required.
And it's even more required, I think.
It is more required because it's not a 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is structured, and which I like, and we're both in 9 to 5s. You know, we don't easily, we can just like, yep, we got to do this, but we want more. And that's got to require so much of you. But remember I said that dream, the Lake Como one?
Oh, yeah. Girl.
Yeah, we have a dream.
Warsan and I are going to be posted in Lake Como, Dubai. What do you mean? We'll just be, babe.
We talk about it.
We'll be like, just grind through it right now so that you can call me and I can just fly over and meet you in Dubai.
We talk about it because every time we're like, this is so hard. Because we can find each other a lot. Because, this is so hard. I don't know if I could do it. And we always bring up, remember Lake Como? Yeah. And remember, what if we get to a point where like, Montana, where you at? I'm like, Warsan, I'm in New York. I said, girl, I'm in here. You know what? Next week,
let's pull up and meet here.
Let's pull up.
I love it, sis. You're already motivating us. You've been in the studio for less than 5 minutes.
Come on, always.
All right. So before we get into every episode, I like to do a little icebreaker on the podcast. Okay. So this week's podcast icebreaker is a clip that I saw on the Pocket Podcast podcast.
Okay.
This week they were talking about what they want from their woman, right?
Okay.
Let me play the clip for you, and then we can talk. About it.
I don't want my partner working unless she wants to work. If you feel the need to go and work to make money, and then you come home and you're complaining about your day when we don't need you to make money because we're sorted. If we've got 4 hours to spend in the afternoon, and I ask you, "How was your day today, babe?" I want your eyes to light up with excitement with whatever the fuck it was. I collected 4 postcards today,
and that's energy too. It's so good.
It's the calm. It's the harmony, it's the peace and love that a man that's got a busy life that's chasing his dreams needs when he's trying to wind down. This is why I heavily encourage hot girl walks. I would love my partner to go on a hot girl walk with her friends every day.
Awesome.
She gets this feminine energy, they get to talk their shit, and then they get to have a bit of excitement about their day. I don't think a girl needs to go through challenge, pain and hardship to be an amazing girl. I think she can fill her days with passion-filled things and still be amazing.
So, firstly, I haven't heard that strong Aussie accent in a minute.
I know, right? No, Aussie content creators.
No, that's so strong.
It's so thick.
It's so thick, you know?
Yeah.
We call it Oka, something like that.
I don't even know.
It's Oka.
Oka?
Yeah, Oka.
Who calls it that?
It's like the Aussie accent, the strong one.
I thought it was Bogan.
No, Oka.
Oh, you're putting me on. Listen, for people that don't know as well, I feel like people need to know that there's like an African Australian accent, and there's an African Asian accent.
Exactly, there's accents for every community. Because I feel like when people come here, like I'll say like my Black British mates that come over here, and they come here over for the first time, and then like they've met me or other people, then because they've already have a like they're so used to the Australian white accent a lot
Yes,
because
yeah.
through neighbors and that,
Of course.
all that stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then
yeah.
when I think when they meet African community, they can say, "Oh, you guys got the POC accent or the Australian like black accent."
Yeah,
For
yeah,
us,
yeah,
like
yeah.
we don't hear
For
it.
us, we don't hear it,
We
but
don't
also
hear
like
it.
until I'm like around
Yeah.
more like Aussies,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh yeah,
No,
like,
when I heard it, I was like, "Whoa,
yeah,
that is
yeah.
so strong."
What did you think about that video?
I'm still processing it.
Okay, because I saw that. Honestly, I get it.
Yeah.
Because I watched that, and I
Yeah.
feel like sometimes. I don't know what his angle was. He ended up doing
That's
like
what
a pin
I
post
thought
because
as
it's
well.
like, yes, women talk about wanting
Yeah.
to be relaxed,
Yeah.
wanting to be in your feminine energy,
Yeah.
wanting to feel like you can be with a man that can provide for you and look after you and the family. But the way he was doing it was like, he's saying, from my perspective, is like you're saying you want to be able to have a woman that is almost just there for you in the house. Like she almost doesn't have her own thing going on. And I don't know, I feel like I don't want people to come here and be like, Wintana's contradicting herself, because a lot of the times I'm like, yeah, I want to lead, I want to provide, I want this. But it's like, I want a man that also respects me and my passion and like my decision to either go to work, my decision to be at home, but not to see it as like, if I do stay at home, you reduce my role down to your peacemaker. Like he was just like, I want her to be able to go on her hot girl walks and put like what did he say? Send out postcards or whatever you do.
Something like
it's
that,
like
yeah.
you think we're just like a puppy, just kind of at home.
Yeah.
I found it so weird.
Yeah.
But I feel like he thought what he was saying was like, I want women to be able to do whatever they want. Yeah, I don't know. I just think there was a lot of like misogyny that was like sprinkled in that. Do you know what I mean?
No, 110%. And I feel like, no, I agree with you on that one, So I know, because like I was like the whole time I was like, okay, well, what is he saying? I'm trying to depict
what
it.
is he? You're trying to figure out. Like,
Yeah.
are you trying to? Is it positive or is it more towards
From what I have seen, it is like he wants like his partner to stay there,
to just
like,
be there?
to be there,
Yeah,
when like he needs it,
yeah. And like to be his peace. Like one line that he said
Yeah.
was like, I want you to be my peace when I come home.
Yeah.
Or like even just the whole like like he has a hard day of following his passion and his ambition, and you
Yeah.
come home and you're just peaceful and you're there. And it's weird, especially you,
Yeah.
especially us as creative women,
Yeah.
and like we've got our own
100%.
ambitions and passions.
Absolutely.
Like for
Absolutely.
me, when I think of my partner, it's like
Yeah.
we complement each other. Like, or are you gonna be with someone that kind of inspires you to do better in whatever you're doing, as opposed to just being like, I'm just your peacemaker when you come home and you've had your crazy day. I don't know. I just feel like that was such a weird way to.
I think it's a weird way that he framed it.
Yes. So like, I don't know. When I saw it, I was like, it feels like he's reducing women down to just like a thing that is just, I don't know, just like something that's just exists at home, as opposed to like your partner. You know what I mean? I just felt like it was just a weird way that he framed it.
And I feel like, I think from what he was saying is, like then he doesn't want someone to like have their own attributes.
Yes.
And like to have like, and it's like to have her own attributes, career goals, or even like got things going on in her life, like something that she can also focus on.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's also then that's like, because prior to that, she had her own identity.
She had her own.
Like things that she was going on and everything. And that should always continue as well. Maybe she can be someone that's also like, very heavily involved in the community. You know? And then that takes also being community takes time.
It takes time. It takes passion.
It takes time and passion and like a lot of hours, because it's also voluntary. But the person's probably doing it for the sake of like, it could be sake of God, or it could be sake of being part of community. And I feel like you want someone to be, involved in community or involved in life.
And you want someone to be, you want someone to have their own thing. I actually heard someone that I know was talking about like I don't know, just they were talking about how their parents had like have you ever seen where it's like the man like chases his dreams and he does this and he's building for the family, and then women almost become just like in the house. And if you don't have community, like when I think of like my mum, aunties and stuff, we're big on community.
100%.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's
but
what
if they
that's how
didn't-
that's
if
what
they
we
didn't
used to
have that and they had to
Yeah.
give up years of working
Exactly.
to be just at home.
Yeah.
At some point, like they'd come out the other end and it's like your kids are grown up, or this is
100%.
happening, and it's like
Yeah.
you don't have your own identity. You
No,
don't have your
exactly.
own things that you're like striving towards, you
100%.
know? Or just like everything becomes like, it's like your partner, your man, your husband has like the news, brings this back to the home. So it's just like one-sided. It's not really like you guys have a two-way relationship or like two conversations happening. So I feel like eventually it gets boring for the man, and for the woman it becomes almost like purposeless. So it's weird how, I don't know, the way he said it, I'm like, is that even, I don't know. I just thought like you can't reduce women down to something like that. It's just strange.
You want them to be involved in say a mum can be a stay-at-home mum, but and that's so fine, and she can be involved in community. Like
even if she's not a stay-at-home mum, to do it properly, to do that role properly is a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. It
like
is a lot
to
of
really
work.
put in and be passionate about like becoming a homemaker.
Yeah.
Because even think about it, when I was living at home, it's like, oh, I have to get up, I have to go. Yeah, like, I have to hustle. I'm doing all this stuff.
It's a lot of work.
I'm not like thinking about the cooking, the cleaning, the making the house feel comfortable, all this stuff. It just, that's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. Like, I mean, like
kids?
even like economically, say it would be called as unpaid labor.
Yeah.
They're required as would be classified as unpaid labor. You know, so I feel like, you know, the way particularly in us, like, you know, our communities, like where we're coming from, where women are very actively involved in community or working as well, and they've got so much things going on in their life, you know, and I think also they got so much life to give as well. When they got those things going for them, and it's also like it's a part of them as an individual, because prior to that they were always that person. Prior to that, because I think like when you see like a parent and stuff, you just see them as a parent, but you don't see them as a person. They were their own person.
They were their own person before all
everything.
Of that.
You know.
So
I think that really contradicts that.
It does. It's just weird. I don't know. I thought it was just like
first when I heard that Oka accent, I said no.
First of all, Oka accent is crazy. I've never heard that before. I just heard it and I was like, I guess I do. I'm like,
strong
I always
Aussie
say,
accent.
strong Aussie accent.
Strong, you know, strong.
But even when I first heard it, I'm listening, I'm like, like I guess I do want to just chill. And yes, I do like to have this. But I'm like, no, he's taking it too far. Because me relaxing and being in my feminine energy does not mean I'm just like mindlessly like doing nothing. Hot girl walks is crazy.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
Anyways, let's move on. I want to quickly talk and let you talk about the work that you do, because you are a director. You also like do films. You've produced a few things for Bittersweet, and you're an artist overall. But yeah, like how would you explain the work that you do?
I think like over the years I got better at explaining it. Because I feel like, you know why?
Having a bio is a hard one.
Doing an artist bio is really hard because language is important.
Yeah.
And then also like, you have to feel comfortable that people are going to see that.
Yeah.
You know? But I feel like also over the years I used to jump. I'm like, oh, I do this. But I think as you get more confident, like, no, this is what I do. And you explain it more and you feel more connected to it. You like, you explain it so easily.
And you move, like you're confident in it.
Yeah. And I said, this is what I do.
So tell us, what do you do?
All right. Where should I start? I'm going to go back to shout out to Latrobe. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
I think when I was studying international relations and I was studying politics, I think at the time, you know, Donald Trump was, you know, elected in 2017, and I started that, you know, course and everything. And I think studying critical theory and everything became a lot, you know. And when I was researching, like when I was going deep into Malcolm X, and not a lot of people know, like he was very big on film and photography because he saw it as an important tool for like visual representation. Okay. He says, if we do this, this is how we take back our narrative, you know? And I feel like I remember the pivot moment when I was walking in Emporium. I was with my sis Yurus, shout out Yurus.
Yeah.
We're walking and, you know, just, you know, uni student, you don't got much, so you're just walking. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Dying. You don't have much, huh?
You
just walking in vibes.
You're walking at Emporium like, this is cute. You're like,
window shopper.
I only got enough money for this dinner tonight.
Yeah.
You know?
Specific one too. My one was, you know what I used to do? I used to go to, like, I was a university hopper, babes. Okay. Like for me, because Deakin was so far away.
Oh my God.
Sometimes I'm like,
Deakin.
Yeah.
Oh, the one in Burwood?
The one in me, I'm like a Burwood. Okay. Burwood for one semester, got bored, let me go Geelong, got bored, go back to Burwood. I used to just switch between because it was just always like, anyway, the drives and stuff was so dragged. And sometimes I didn't want to work at home. So I used to go, universities, you're actually allowed to just go to any university library. 100%. So I'll go to the city, RMIT, get my, what was that the Japanese spot that everyone used to go to?
The one on the corner of QV?
Yes.
Oh, that one.
What's it called?
Oh, I know
it
which
starts
one's
with
the
K.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
I know
why
it's
can't I
got-
remember it? The real Melbourne OGs, if you guys know this place,
Nah,
please comment below or tell us what it is.
We forgot. It's been a minute.
That place?
It used to be very cheap back in the day.
That was cheap.
Yeah,
Sis. That
it's
was
good
my
time.
little uni money.
Yeah.
I used to go there with my uni money.
Yeah.
And I used to get my little katsu curry chicken.
Okay, I love it. No, I remember the dumpsters because I remember that place. Yeah, I think it's the spot we're talking about.
Yeah, it's the same one.
Yeah.
QV, you got it.
QV, because I think that's the halal one, you know?
Yeah. So tell me anyway. So you go,
So
yes.
I was there and I was walking around and I think I saw the way that Black people portrayed, I think particularly in the editorial space or everything, and how, you know, like I'll say the white models were quite modest, and then the way that the Black people, like, you know, Black models were exposed, like black or blue paint or some gold paint. It was Latrobe. But when I saw that, and when I was in class and there was like really, really like, I'll say Donald Trump supporters being out with their thoughts, you know, and I needed to outsource.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, I need to talk about so many things.
Yeah.
And when I saw Malcolm X, he did, like, you know, he was talking about that. And that's when that gravitated towards me as a photography. Because at the end, I was always an artist as a kid.
Yeah.
Because even in primary school, I always gravitate towards it. I just haven't found my medium. I think at the time, I wanted to portray Black people, the narrative the way we see, and to be soft. And you know, take back our narrative the way we're portrayed.
Yeah.
And I think with that, I did as a hobby. Sometimes hobbies can lead to
your passion.
Your passion.
Yeah.
And I leaned into it. I like at the time, like, you know, I was not scared to try something new. And you know, I'll go to uni for my camera. If you remember, you remember. And I felt like it was always a calling for me.
And it was like when I even see your work, like.
Yeah.
And people don't, like, I don't know if people understand how necessary that is.
It's
because
so necessary.
sometimes when you're listening to people say this, you're like, oh yeah, like it's good that she does this and whatever. But it is so necessary.
It is
like
so necessary.
even the spaces that you're working in now, you've done campaigns for JD, you've done community campaigns. She even rejected a brand that I was working with her for a project one time. And one thing about Warsan is she'll stick to her morals. And I respect it.
100%.
Like there was a brand that you felt like didn't align with your personal morals.
100%.
And for me, I was working on something. I asked her to be on it, and she was like, "Not this time, sis." But we made it happen regardless. We came back another time. We did a bittersweet project.
We made it happen.
You've also worked
my
with
work's
like
been on a billboard as well. I think
was it Photo 2020?
Photo 2024. So it's Australia's biggest international photography festival. And when
was it the biggest billboard of that series?
It was one of them. It was up there. It was up there,
guys.
It was
like
up
you
there.
walk into the
I'm not
city
great
and
at
it was
maths,
in the
but it's up there.
It was up there.
Yeah, it's up there.
It was like, it was amazing, and it's just like that in itself. It was just the representation of like that. For that was like Black women, Muslim women, in the middle of the city.
I
a
swear.
huge billboard.
My 6-year-old would never believe it, because I feel like when you grew up, I think when I saw it for the first time, I was with Hannah. You know, shout out. When I saw it for the first time, I was in a state of shock. She was jumping up everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I was in a state of shock because I think I was saying like my 6-year-old self will never see it, or my teenage self will never see it, because I went to a German white school. And I feel like the fact that, you know, in my home city, I got to see my work there, but also like Black Muslim hijabis on a billboard. I know that made like a lot of the sisters happy as well.
Absolutely, sis.
And I want us to be represented in the way that we perceive soft. You know, yes, we are confident soft, but also soft. Because we are.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, of course. You know, and I think that's beautiful. I think even just having someone that can jump on like doing campaigns for people or doing like, it's very different if I was to go and hire someone that isn't a Black woman, you know what I mean? And I have done that where I'm like, the projects have just been so like, the outcome wasn't what it was supposed to give. You know what I mean?
And the care.
And also
the care.
It's also just like the understanding. Like we come from the same world. So you know what I'm trying to achieve, you know? And I think that in itself, like ownership and having your own story being told by someone that understands you makes such a big difference.
No, 100%. Because like I feel like, you know, that was photography, and I think once I was getting more into film sets and stuff, and shout out to all the people. And the thing is, yes, you see great things I do, but also it's the people who helped me and opened those doors for me. Because, you know, my first job as a photographer back in 2018 or 17, shout out to Wafa and Idol, the amazing community people. They gave me my first job, and it was by Black Muslim sisters. And it was just like teaching Black Muslim girls or Black girls that live in Carlton community photography. And I was like, and I had a lot of imposter syndrome, like me. I said, me, I don't know much, but okay. But I think when they did that, they believed in me, and you need someone to believe in you. You need someone just to open the door for you, because like that was my first job, and then where I'm at now, you know.
And how many doors? People,
how many
I know that there'll be
and
young
so
girls watching you and being like, okay, cool, let me actually try and tap into
and it's
that.
scary because, like, you know, like people say, oh, you're the first, you know, Black Muslim woman to do an exhibition or to have your work on a billboard. And it is scary.
Is that in Australia or
I think in Melbourne? That's what they say. But we got to fact check. I don't know. I'm not great at maths, but I haven't done maths since 11.
I haven't seen another one before, so I'm gonna say
Yeah, you know. But even when I did that exhibition, it changed a lot, because I think 2022, I was trying to finish uni, I was working as a swim teacher. Yes, we swim.
Yeah,
you know?
She's doing all of it, guys.
Yeah, you know. But that also taught me, because reason why I had to do that, it was like a stepping stone for me. And I said, if I don't do this, you're not gonna do anything. Yeah. And I had to push through all the discomfort, because you get a lot of discomfort and also a lot of imposter syndrome. And that's something that we have a lot, very heavily in Australia, like the imposter syndrome. And also saying, like, you know, for me, I prayed to Lord God, I prayed during Ramadan, and, you know, signs came through, and I had to do it. I couldn't do it. I had to do it. If I didn't do it, then I told myself, you're not going to go for the goals that you don't, you know, goals that you want. And this is your stepping stone, so you have to do it.
I'm so glad you did it, sis.
I'm glad, because you know
I can't wait to see where you go as well with everything that you're doing.
No, honestly, because it's crazy. Yeah. Sometimes you're like, oh, I want to go shoot a feature film. Like, oh, girl, we don't got the money yet. Yeah, that's okay. Maybe right now, let's learn the skills that you're meant to be in this position right now, and you're meant to learn these things. And I think I learned a lot of patience and grace. You know, so I get that from, you know, just being patient, and the right things will come your way.
I love that you said that as well, just being like present, because at the beginning you said I'm trying to be present. And then this is a really good way to like just give that like example, where obviously if things are not accessible to you right now, you're like, what can I do with what I have now?
100%.
I love that.
100%.
The next thing I wanted to talk to you about was the stage between 27 and 30. Whew. You and I were the same age.
Yeah.
We're the same age. We're 28, which I was so shocked at when I met you. I think I met you like, 3 years ago now? 3 years
and a half
ago?
years.
3 and a half years. We've been knowing each other.
Yeah, because you know, I was like, when I met you first, I was like, oh, I'm in with Tana.
Yeah. Like, no, girl, crazy. She came up, she was so sweet too. You were like, you gave me my flowers. I remember I had just come back from overseas, and your exhibition happened, and I was trying to see it, but I just missed it. But anyway, like, you came up to me, and I was like, oh, this girl's lit. You know what I mean? She's a vibe. We were having good chats, whatever. I never thought. I think one day someone was like, yeah, Warsan is 96, baby. I was like, what?
Yeah,
and something in me, whenever someone tells me like, oh shit, they're 96, I'm like, that's my person. Yeah, because we're born in the same year.
Black don't crack.
You know
Black
what I mean?
Crack.
But also just there was that black girl. We're so young. Where we
I know. You know, but also I'm a short Somali woman, so you know.
Yeah. But you don't crack. I was like, okay, you know. But anyway, the age. So basically, I wanted to talk to you about, because we talk about this all the time. Like the 27 to 30 is like that weird period where it's like you've got all these expectations
100%.
From work.
Community, family,
your family, your love life. Like there's all these things of like you're like, we're grown. Technically, we're grown women. We're grown, right? Yeah. But also it's like we're still figuring it. Not figuring it out, but we're still trying to like lay down the foundation for our life, you know.
100%.
And I feel
we're like in the first season of Insecure,
girl.
Because
Wasn't
she like?
She was 29.
29.
We're not there yet. They were turning 30. We're not there yet. But we're not there yet.
Yeah. We're doing really well before season one.
Before season one of we're figuring it out. You know what I mean? But like, I just came back from my cousin's wedding, and it was so beautiful. Congratulations to my beautiful cousin. When I tell you, I never.
I'm getting there. I'm learning.
I never did that in my life. This weekend. For context, people that don't understand, we're East African, Habesha. When we get when we are like celebrating,
you guys do that.
The chant, I guess, chant that we make is.
Yeah, we do the sign, like my mom does it. Like other they do the one with the tongue like. I can't do it.
Oh, and then the Sudanese.
Yeah, they go.
Yeah. Shout out to the East Africans.
I mean, Eritreans also do as well. Like, but
Is Eritrean? I think Eritreans as well.
Yeah, but also the ones that grew up in Sudan.
Yeah.
Hope you fact check me, guys.
Guys, please. We're East African here. It's all love.
But it's all the different signs.
There's different things. So for people that don't know, that don't understand that, it's like the chants that we make when we're doing celebrations or something. So we grew up in Australia, all right, sis. I try to be in tune with my culture. I am, but I've never done a little in my life. This wedding, it was like my own.
Good.
Every 10 seconds,
that's what we
and we'll
want.
just look at each other. We'll all lock eyes.
Yes,
It was
that's
so
what you
funny.
want. I'm gonna learn the one my chant, but like I feel
you
like
have to show me how you guys do it. So basically, what I was saying was, I went to that wedding. Everyone was like, "Oh, Wintana, so good to see." Like we're seeing people from back in the day, community members, all this
I
stuff.
love what it's a reunion. It's people
It's
you
a
don't get
big
to. It's
reunion.
a big
reunion of like the community
and culture
And they're like,
as well.
we're so happy, blah blah blah. When's your wedding?
Yeah, always.
When's yours? When's yours? We can't wait for your one. And all I could say was like, yeah, find me my man, and then I'll be there. Yeah, just find me. And it's so crazy because I'm like, we're not even at the age where we make jokes about it. This is the real deal. Like I had my dad call me a month and a half ago, and he's like, Wintana, like. I'm at work, and I'm just thinking. I'm like, what are you thinking about? It's like, just, Wintana, it's not, you're not a small age anymore. That's literally his words.
So
I was like, what? He's like, yeah, like, what's happening, babes? He was like, what's going on? You're at an age now where like you should be, are you gonna, what's the plan? You know
what's
what I
the
mean?
next
Like,
step?
have you thought about it? And I'm like,
yeah.
like, it's so funny because people will talk about it as if like a man is supposed to fall in your lap, like 100%. As if it's in our control.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is God's timing, yeah?
You're on
Listen,
God's you're
I'm
really
on God's
God's
timing.
timing.
All I can do is like work towards what I want.
Yeah.
I guess like think about it a little bit more, be very like intentional about the moves I make. But like it's this weird period where 27 to 30 is almost like it's like it is God's timing. You're on God's timing,
really
but
are.
it's like these things should be happening.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's like this weird
exactly.
place. So for you, I want to know, like, what has that been like for you?
It's been crazy because like right now I'm 28 and sometimes like you're like, all right, you're not in your younger 20s, and you got to put things into perspective. Like, oh, I got to get like my career set, but then that takes time. And then like, oh, I got to get my finance part. I'm like, but that takes time. And then you're like, oh, but like, and then it's a stage where like people like are getting married, having children, and then you have people moving on the other side of the world, pursuing degrees. Like everyone is like in different spaces. And then for you, you're trying to like figure out, okay, I need it. The way I see it is I'm setting myself up for 30,
Yeah.
Right now, it's like locking in a lot of areas where I'm like, I need to set myself up for. The way I say it, yeah, and maybe you guys, take this one is, I say it as respect your future self. The way when I talk to myself, I said, all right, Warsan, you got to respect your future self. You don't want to do this, but you have to for her. That's how I see it.
I get that too. Yeah. Yeah.
And then like, and on top of that, like career as well, because you're in a 9 to 5 and you're like, but I should be here. I just want to go full time with my creative work.
Yeah.
I want to do full time, but you're not there yet.
Yeah.
And like, and then it's just a confusing period.
It is a very confusing period. I feel
it's
like
so hard.
It's so hard, and you have to like. One thing, I'm at a stage now where it's like I always have these like conflicting thoughts.
Yes.
Like 1 minute I'm like, all right, cool. We're in our work. We're gonna save this much money.
100%.
We're gonna get the house. We're gonna do Like this is gonna come to you if you position. The next minute I'm like, no. But like if I do this too much, I'm taking away from my work here. Or like if I don't put myself out enough, maybe I won't find like the love of my life. Or there's so many things, and I'm just
so
like,
much
you know
that
what
comes to
I
your
have
head.
to do like every like a month or so. I have to check in now
Yeah.
because there's so much noise. It's not even just from. Sometimes it's not even people's opinions. It's like conversations you're just having.
Exactly.
And then those
And people you
conversations
see.
affect the way you think. You know what I mean? So you need to you just need to be so strong in your own like thoughts and so strong in like what you believe and what you want for yourself
100%.
and really just like double down on that, because
you have to.
if you're not, you're very easily like that foundation is it can go anywhere.
Because I think it needs to be the strongest where it's at.
It has to be.
You're going not just from people but from yourself as well. And on top of that, like, you're a human being. So you're like, oh, I should be doing this or I should be doing that. And like also another thing as well, I don't know for you, but even your younger 20s, because your younger 20s, like, oh, you probably like, oh, by 25, I should have this.
Oh,
And
yeah,
26,
girl, yeah.
that and that and that. And now when you're at the age, you're like, oh, it's not there yet.
Yeah.
And then you also have to like conflict those thoughts from what you had 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And you're like, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
And this is where we're at.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing. You just you have thoughts coming from it's 360.
It's 360.
It's 360, and it's like a loud room, and you're trying to like quiet.
And
the
you're
noise.
trying to go within.
Yeah, you like, you know, the little cubicles like that. It does a noise cancellation.
Yeah.
That's what you need
I'm
to do
dead.
with those
I'm
thoughts.
actually dead.
Like that's what you need.
Yeah.
You need to do noise cancellation. It's like everything comes in my time. Whatever's meant for me will never miss you. Never ever miss you.
Never. I truly believe that.
I always believe that it will
Yeah.
never miss you. Even like this jacket, this was made and it was gonna be worn by you.
Yeah.
You know, like everything will never miss you. So I feel like, you know, I think the way I take it is day by day, week by week, checking yourself as I do. Like I like to do that monthly check-in, and then you have to also remind yourself that you're doing okay.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. It's just conversations
You're
with
doing
yourself on
okay.
a regular.
It's just,
but
it's
like,
just like it's like a ping pong.
Yeah.
You know?
But it is. It's like, and like for anyone that's there, because like honestly, you feel like, oh shit. Some days I'm like, I'm 28. I was 20. I'm like, I'm 28. Yeah. 28 means 29. And then I was,
That's how you
I was
see
driving.
it. Why can't you just stay and live in 20?
No, because I'm turning 28. That's how I see it. I always jump the next year.
No, my sister, every time I say, I'm turning 29, she's like, girl, why are you like jumping?
I know.
You turn 29 at the end of the year. Just enjoy it. 28.
Yeah.
She always says that too, because I always like, she always said, no, just enjoy it.
Just enjoy it, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
shout
for
out
me,
to
I'm
her.
just like, yeah, shout out to your sister. My sister will be like, yeah, you're pushing 30, babes. That's my sister. You're pushing 30. You want to do that? You're pushing 30. I'm just like, I know. And I'm just like,
No, my sisters, you
girl,
know what I mean?
the sisters
They
will
really
humble
check.
you.
No, they humble you
They will
quick.
humble you so quick.
Humble
and I'm
you
just
so
like,
quick.
I just remember being like, driving.
Yeah.
I was screaming. I'm like, I'm 30. And it was just
You're
like
not
this
there yet.
idea
You're not
of
there
30.
yet.
I'm
Yeah.
not there
You're
yet.
not
But
there
it's
yet.
like, we're close to it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's nothing wrong with it
No,
either.
it's not. It's
but it's
nothing
just
wrong.
I don't know what it is, like this feeling where you're just like, yeah, it's a period.
It's a society pressure.
It's-
where
yes.
you need to get, like, I feel like society, especially where you need to get everything sorted in your 20s, which is not something that it's impossible.
It's like your
It's
20s is
impossible.
like your first time of like actually
Exactly,
becoming an
life.
adult. Like
Life,
I feel like
finishing
21 is one.
One
You know
year.
what I mean?
One
It's
year.
like we're
One year.
fresh out of high school, fresh out of
100%.
uni. But like
It's
it's just
19 or
it's,
something like
do you know what it is? It's the period where like if you are someone that is trying to make things happen for yourself,
Exactly.
you're like doing the work. It's
Exactly.
about being patient.
Yeah,
I feel like
'cause-
this period of time is about being patient, because if you're doing the work, you're like working on yourself, your mental health, you're working on your like you're working on your
Everything.
just everything, your career, your personal growth, personal
Even
development,
trying to keep up with being your friendships as well.
friendship, your
you
love,
know,
like, all those
everything,
things,
just
and you're
everything.
really trying to be
Yeah.
intentional about it. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm doing the work.
When's it coming?
When is it coming?
When's it coming? I think
When is it coming?
Because I think you're at that, the middle stage where you've passed the start
Yeah,
and you're not at where you're meant to be.
yeah.
And you're at that middle stage where like you just need that
The
click
push,
moment, that
yeah.
push moment,
Yeah.
or that moment that
The puzzle
happens-
pieces need
the
to start
puzzle-
coming together.
Exactly, and I think it's because like you're doing it every single day. You don't see the puzzle
Yeah.
pieces moving.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you were to like go back 2 years ago,
Yeah.
you can see, the things
Actually,
that,
I have.
exactly.
Yeah,
you know
have.
the things that you like. If you 2 yourself years ago saw what you're doing now, you're like, oh my god, she's
Yeah,
that girl.
She's that girl.
She's that girl.
You're
you know?
right. You're right.
You
There's,
have to,
there's
yeah.
moments, and
Yeah.
to be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you. There
Yeah.
are moments that I have caught myself, and I'm like,
Yeah,
it's you really doing that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
little
It's a
one,
little,
yeah.
you have to also fight strongly with the poster syndrome because it's very entrenched in
It is,
Australian
it is.
culture.
It's like it's so
And it's
crazy.
It's everywhere, not just it's in all communities.
And it's just a mindset as well. I feel
Yeah.
like sometimes we're hardwired to like think
Yeah.
negatively than we
Yeah.
are to think positive.
And
But
I
so
think-
it's
I
like
think
we're
that's-
just
Exactly, and I think with our thoughts and stuff, it's something very powerful that we like know. You have a form like, no, I'm not that. And I think like also like you have to like look at it because sometimes you're in a doubt. You're like the way that other people see you, like, oh, that's when Tanya, she's doing big things, and then you're there like, oh, I don't know, I'm not making it.
But
like
you
that.
gotta believe
have
it
to.
yourself. You
'Cause
can't
the way
even,
that
it
people
doesn't
see
matter.
you,
It
you have to
doesn't
see that for
Yeah,
yourself.
but it has to come from you
It has
because
to
no
come
matter
from
how many
you.
people say it to you, if
Yeah.
you don't believe it in yourself,
100%.
like you actually can't go forward. Is how I see it.
100%.
So yeah, but I think it's a process, guys. One
It's
thing about this is
every
it's
day,
patience.
one at a time. And then when you get to your 30s, you gotta say, thank you for doing the work.
Oh, period. I can't
Yeah.
wait to. I think it was. I sent you a video and it was Jackie Aina. Actually, before I move on to the next segment.
Oh yes, that video.
Jackie
Yeah,
Aina,
I
and I
love
was
Jackie
like,
Aina.
I love
Yeah,
her because
I love her.
I've seen videos of people being like,
she's
you know,
thriving in her 30s right now.
she's 37 years
No,
old
yeah.
and she's absolutely thriving.
She's
and that woman
thriving.
worked hard for what
No,
she
did
did.
because I feel like
to.
she was doing like YouTube and stuff a long time ago.
Babes,
I think
years
2013
ago.
when I was in school. I was in high school.
She was
and
doing
the
it years
thing,
ago.
like, and I feel like she started. I think maybe she started in her latest. I can't remember, but I think a lot of her success came when she was in her 30s.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people that would look into like a lot of things came to them 30s, 40s, you know, and 50s. You know, if we look at big businesses or whatever, like, you know, like if we look at the age that they started, it was like later than not their 20s.
Yeah.
And I think we're so used because we see like, you know, sports stars and everything.
Or like even just the era of social media, everyone's like it's fast tracked a little bit.
Fast
you feel like,
track.
oh, I need to get there now.
Fast track. But you know, the people who sustain
Yeah.
is the people who put the work in.
Yeah.
Like people who stayed longer at that seat of the table or at that top, they put so much work in to get there. And I feel like also they're authentic in who they are. And also like they put in like, I think authentic to who they are instead of people that follow like trends and stuff like that. Because trends stays trends.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know, that's how I see things
No,
creatively.
I get it too. Like you have to just be yourself in
You
this
have to be
process.
self because that's how you build also community around you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what, like, even what she was saying, like the Jackie Aina video where she was like, she just said this comment and I was like, oh my God, this is like, I needed to hear this right now. Where she was like, she's like, I know sometimes it feels like, oh, I'm 31 or, oh, I'm like 29, I'm about to hit 30 or, oh, I'm like, you know, you're in that stage. And she's like, I should have this right now. I need to get part of it. Maybe she's like, maybe I should just go for this person or maybe. And I feel like sometimes you know,
she said,
deep,
don't settle.
She's
I
like,
remember,
please don't settle. She's like, please don't settle.
Yeah, 100%.
And I heard that and I was like, that really hit me because sometimes you're just like, you know what, like, I feel like I'm so big on you know when you know. And I think the whole trusting yourself comes the more you like practice
100%.
like making decisions for yourself. And a lot of times you do know. And it's just easier sometimes to be like, you know what, this thing's in front of me. Let me just go for it.
Exactly.
But I was like, when I heard that don't settle, I'm like 100%. I feel like we just need to follow
and don't
what is
settle
made for
because
us.
sometimes like, you know, you probably experience it, I experience it where we take in opportunities where like, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And then you do it, you're like,
Why did I do that?
Why did
I do that? It's not worth my time. It's not worth my value. Yeah.
And sometimes when you're struggling, like you might think of the money part, but sometimes it's never worth it.
Yeah.
And then I think you get stronger as, you know, me, like, you know, I've said no to big things because of my morals, like particularly religiously. And if something is not in those like morals and religiously, I won't do it.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's, you know, Nike's calling me, I would say no. Like, for example, when you hit me up about it, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. But then I start thinking about all my morals, like religious, like, nah. And I had to quit. I'm like, yeah, one time I can't do it.
Yeah, I know. And I actually respected it. I was like, you know what?
And I appreciate you said, nah, Warsan, I really appreciate that and I respect that, you know?
Because I did. I was like, you know what? This is a good opportunity for everyone, but like, I like that you did that. We're going to move on to the last segment. This segment is called Bitter or Sweet.
Okay. Oh, we got a little...
Guys, you know, every week, like, we be playing the Bitter or Sweet games. And, you know, I have upgraded, all right, guys? I don't know if you can see the quality from there, but...
It's 1010. It's HD. It's not paper.
It's not paper.
It's not paper.
And the paper brought us here, so we're grateful for the paper. But this is the real deal. 100%. And I'm so excited. When I got these, I picked them up the other day, and they are for the live show that has already happened. Because by the time this drops... They're for the live show that by the time this drops, the live show will already have happened. So I got them and I was like, this is...
No, this is legit.
This is legit, sis, right?
I'm glad. I'm the first one to use it.
You're the first one to use it. All right, so first one is here. The way the game works is bitter or sweet.
Okay.
And bitter being like you disagree and sweet being you disagree, meaning you agree. Bitter, disagree, sweet, agree.
Okay. Bitter, disagree.
Yeah.
And sweet. Basically, this is a no.
Yes, yeah. Bitter, because bitter, like,
okay,
yeah.
It takes time for me to...
Bitter or sweet, having a work bestie you never see outside of work.
Bitter or sweet? Sweet.
Sweet?
Yeah.
Okay, cute.
Yeah, I agree with that one. But also, I'm in between.
Yeah.
But I agree with that one. No, because I feel like, you know, because you at the same workplace, and if you didn't meet them prior to that, you will probably never met.
You're gonna meet, yeah.
But if it's like, but the thing, I've had one case where it was a work friend, but then they became my friend.
They became your real friend. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I say sweet to that as well because for me personally, I like to keep my work and my home life separate.
I'm always like that.
Yeah.
I'm always like that. And I feel like,
because sometimes I feel like I live a double life. Not a double life, but it's like what I do out here, like this is my job.
Because you know what,
I mean?
I feel like I think particularly as Black people, like
it's different.
There's different the way that you present yourself at work.
Yeah.
It's like you
watered down,
a little bit. Well, you should, like, even though you're full yourself, but it's not your people.
It's not your people, so you're always gonna be a little bit more like, you're gonna be like,
and you're on your toes because you are analyzing everyone for safety and all that stuff. And But I'll say, like, it is perfectly normal to have like a work bestie and then they just stay at work, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But in sometimes some cases where that person might be like your friend outside.
Yeah, I get you.
That's
if you
a
become
rare
friends,
case.
you become friends. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, next one is bitter or sweet, moving in silence.
Sweet.
Sweet?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, talk to me why.
Now, because I feel like, like when you got like big projects coming in, you got to move that in silence because you got to protect that.
Yeah.
You have to protect that. I think also like this, how I grew up religiously and everything, it's like, protecting it from like evil eye and all that stuff. But also I feel like, sometimes like, some people might not believe what you got working on, or they might not they might like sometimes their opinions and stuff like that
can impact the way you or
think.
have like an influence on how you do your work.
Also, but this is for me because I'm a yapper. Sometimes I'll yap it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
And my friends like, Watson, like, keep that opportunity to yourself.
Yeah,
I think why I would say sweet.
I get that too. I feel like I feel like it should be sweet.
Yeah.
But because I'm such a yapper, bro.
I know.
And sometimes I'm such a oh my god, I got this stuff. And I get excited. But like definitely what I don't do is it's not even because of like evil eye and stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's because like I don't know if it's gonna happen yet.
Exactly.
So I'm like, let me not talk prematurely. Let me just leave it. But I also do think it's important to just move in silence.
No,
like
exactly.
not in a way that's like, don't tell people your next move. I feel like that's a bit corny.
Because you
but
tell
in a way
you
that's
tell
like
the like people
the
who are
people
close to you,
and
people that need to know,
they need to know,
and then all that stuff.
you
and
just
then,
leave to the side.
And you leave to the side.
Yeah, I think for me it's important to be like, it's privacy is good.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's good to just kind of go about your work without like, you don't have to tell everybody your every move.
Exactly.
But I think where it comes from, because sometimes that can also be affect like, okay, how am I trying to say this? You know, when we talk about evil eye,
Yeah.
sometimes when people talk about evil eye, and I feel like I'm moving in a way because I'm trying to avoid that, it opens me up to that. Do you get me?
Okay.
Whereas if I'm not putting it in my mind at all, then it can't touch me. Is how I see it.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? If like,
I get you.
if I'm in God's corner and I'm blessed, and
you're
this,
right.
then I'm not gonna
like
say
your protection.
Yeah, God's got me.
God's got you.
And whatever is for me will be for me.
Absolutely.
And then you just move in a way that's like, you know, like if anything, I try to not talk about what I'm doing because I don't want people to have an opinion of it over it or influence the way I think. Because sometimes
it happens.
people you can't talk to people because they don't have the vision.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they don't have the vision, then they're gonna tell you like, oh, I don't really get it. Oh, that doesn't really hit. And it's like, okay, maybe not for you, but I've thought it out and I see it in my mind.
Absolutely.
And so like I feel like moving in silence, yes, because you can't be talking to just anyone and everyone, especially the ones who they ain't got vision.
We
just yapped to each other.
We yapped to each other.
Yeah.
But I feel like when that's why we can just tell, oh, we got this.
I've got
you know
this.
what I mean?
And you feel better that way because it's like, oh, I'm talking to someone who's happy for me, who wants to see me win, who like will give me advice.
That's
you know?
the important thing.
Yeah.
Like when someone's genuinely happy for what you got going on, that's like a very good
1,000%.
sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sis, it's been
It's a
real.
wrap. I feel like this is like 20 minutes.
Girl, this was definitely not 20 minutes. And I had to time us because the thing about us guys, Warsan has come to me to help me plan a shoot that we were going to do. She came to plan. Quick 1, 2. Quick 1, 2. Why were we?
I'm serious though.
Babes, we were 2 hours into talking. We hadn't even done the plan yet.
No, because you know
That's
why?
our problem.
No, but the thing is, there was a reason we haven't seen each other for a minute.
That's what I'm saying.
We have to give pre-calls and everything. We got to get all the yap out and then get to work.
Yeah. But I want people you let people know where they can find you because I feel like people need to start getting ready for you.
Okay.
People have been ready for you, but they need to start seeing.
Inshallah. I would say best is Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You saw me. I've been posting.
She's been posting.
You think?
Yeah.
You know.
You've been doing your thing.
And then like I do got TikTok.
Yeah.
That's coming.
Yeah.
It's post by post.
Post by post.
Post by post. But I would say the best way to find me is Warsan.Mohammad.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
And I'll put it all in the show notes as per usual, guys.
And I'll put my TikTok
and
too.
also, like, just quickly before we wrap
Yeah.
up, you know, a lot of things you were talking about with the film, getting into the film space. I feel like there's a lot of young women or even just young, like, people that want to come into this space that are like, you know what, love what she's doing. How do I get in? What can they hit you up? Like, what's the best thing you would just quick advice that you'd give people?
I would say, like, grow with people who are starting with you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, you know, you would encourage each other, but also grow with people that's like with you as well, but also who are at the same stage, like morally as well, like who would respect your boundaries and everything, and people who want to make authentic work and not just for the vibes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And there's, you know, nothing hate with the vibes, everything, you know, but the way for me, I want to make authentic work about my community, where I'm from, you know, because I got so much identities, you know, very proud Somali woman,
Period.
you know.
Period. And we love that. Yeah.
But also taking confidence. And that's something that I get from a lot from my Somali culture. We have a word called nagnol, you know?
Okay.
So, you know, I know my Somali
What is it? What is the word?
Nagnol, you know?
Nagnol?
Yeah,
Nagnol
nagnol.
with a G at the end?
Yeah, nagnol. And when
Nagnol.
when I say, you know, sis be nagnol, you say that to another Somali sister, like 110%. I need to take. It's basically, it's a lot of words like being confident, taking up space. It's like you're that girl. Yeah. Basically, that's the
period. I love that.
basically understanding. I hope like I did my Somali people justice the explanation. But I would say like, you know, I think also like confidence takes time. It takes time to also build. But when you feel like you need to tell that story, it needs to be you. And then every day 1% you'll get better. But also the right people will come to you as well,
and they'll find you.
And the right people will find you. And everything,
it takes time.
it takes time. It takes time. So be patient. I know like people who wanna, because I have a lot of youngins that come to me and they say, hey, I want to get into photography, and I get so genuinely happy because you know I want more of us in the space. Every day. And you can, I feel like I'm very open. People can always come and hit me up and stuff like that. So
I love that, sis. And make sure you guys do hit her up. Honestly, I feel like you can learn a lot from this girl.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
You
That's
can
so
learn
nice.
a lot from this. Let me say this woman, not even this girl. You can learn a lot from this woman. All right, guys. As per usual, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you guys again next week. Peace.